Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of GeekStorm. It's number 148. We're getting closer and closer to 150. We appreciate everybody watching. Today Sean's not here, so it's a little known FCC regulation for all broadcasting that when a host is gone, you have to replace the weight of that host. So I brought two people on today to kind of keep things even. I don't make these laws. I mean, this is obviously right. Obviously true. I've got Lauren and Josh here with me. They've picked up the slack quite a few times when Sean and or I haven't been here, so it's good to have them both on the couch. We haven't had three people in a while. Nice to have that. Always nice to have Lauren here. She is uniquely qualified in that she is a super X-Files fan like me, and she likes American Horror Story like me, and there's so much on the geek spectrum from superheroes to Doctor Who to science that we kind of click on some of the same things anyway. But and so she says, "Hey, we're gonna watch American Horror Story. Let's talk about that." I'm like, "Okay, I'm like 5 episodes behind." Turns out I was on episode number 4, so I binged them all yesterday. I get here today and she hasn't even watched the episode last night.
I was tired, but I was right. I guessed right
about
on
what?
How it ended.
Did you?
You just told me it was.
I did?
About who made it out alive.
No, you said you thought Lily made it out alive.
No, I said at the 3 episodes back when it was like one person will make it out.
Right.
I said it was going to be this chick, and
Right.
then she died.
Okay, let's back up a little bit. This part of the reason I stepped out of this season in the first place. It's very different. In that it's not just a storyline about a house or a hotel or a particular place. They took really a jab at several genres in this series. For the first 5 episodes being a kind of a forensic files type of thing, where you've got a single camera
haunting in.
Yeah, you've got a single camera interview with the actual people who things happen to. Now, in our world, these are actors.
Yes.
Okay. So then you have the dramatic reenactment of the thing that they went through with other actors from the show.
Yes.
Okay, who are in the world of American Horror Stories actors.
Yes. And now they just shove you in the deep end as far as that goes. That first episode, you had to figure it out. You're like, oh, okay, this is what I'm watching.
So I haven't seen a single episode of the new season. Let me be the viewer right now who isn't watching this.
Go ahead.
Is Gaga in this season?
Yes.
She is.
Okay, that's a plus.
Yes.
Is it a departure from the traditional recycle the same actors in different roles?
Yes.
There are probably 20 actors in this because you have to have all the people that it happened to.
Yeah.
You have to have all the actor
dramatic
people.
actors.
Okay.
And then as we get into the second half of the season,
What
you have a whole
actually
new-
is happening.
Yeah, you have a whole new set of people as well.
Oh,
so there's
okay.
a lot of people.
So
in there.
half the season was what you, as if you were watching a haunting inn type episode where you see what happens and then it ends, and the very next episode is, it made 3 million plus viewers on the last night.
Oh, they're trying to go meta now.
It beat Walking Dead and all this other stuff.
So Lauren is sitting in front of a camera talking about how, I walked through the house and I heard some noises and blah, blah, blah. Then they cut to an actress who's portraying Lauren walking through the house and doing the things that she just described.
Okay.
So a lot of it is like that. And
That's actually pretty cool.
It is very different.
a lot of
I like
people
that.
loved it. A lot of people hated it.
It's very polarizing.
It
I like
was.
it.
Halfway
I'm gonna give
through,
it a
though,
chance.
they switched gears completely. Okay, let's say that everything that supposedly happened to Lauren, the people on the couch, wraps up by episode 5 or so. Episode 6 starts out with, hey, you start talking to the Mike Dukes, the producer of that show, who was a runaway hit, and what's he going to do next? He decides he's going to get all the people that it really happened to,
The dramatic actors, the actual
all the
people.
actors that portrayed this, and take them to that place during this blood moon, the 3 or 4 nights where all the craziness was supposed to have happened.
This almost seems like a Scream movie plot to me.
It's
kind of like...
It very much was.
Yeah, okay.
So and he has cameras everywhere, in the house, and so it's very Big Brother like in that he sticks all these real people and all the actors who portrayed them, which there was a lot of tension there, into this house to go through these 3 nights. And we're all supposed to believe still that none of this really happened, okay? And there's internet feeds about whether it did happen or didn't happen.
All the actors are like, it's complete BS. Nothing happened to us while we were filming all of these. I think they're crazy.
But they didn't film it during this blood moon, okay? There's like 3 or 4 nights where all the nastiness happens in this house. And let's preface that by saying that this happens around that Sean and I've talked about before, about in Roanoke, Virginia, the missing colony in Krakatoa,
Croatoan.
And all that. But that seems to be only the background for this whole deal.
Okay, cool.
And what you didn't see last night is they kind of, I won't say jump the shark again, but then, not jump the shark's wrong word, they switch gears again in this last episode in that they go back to more of a courtroom, almost like a OJ drama type of thing, where we're witnessing the one person who did survive the whole thing. Well, now they've got her, because in her defense, she's killed several people, okay?
Yes.
There's hillbillies, there's cast members that go crazy. That type
A lot
of
of people died.
Well, yes, they did. So she's defending herself in a courtroom drama type of thing aspect, and then eventually goes back to the farm again, and before it all wraps up completely. Lady Gaga is in it. I'll say this though, and I did not finish Hotel. Anybody could have played the part that Lady Gaga played. She didn't bring anything to it. To me personally. And
are you talking about Hotel or the new part?
I'm talking about the new one.
Part.
Okay.
To be honest, I didn't even recognize that it was her until the episode that she first appeared ended, and it was like on Facebook
because
or
she's
some
not all
message
glammed up.
board.
She's a witch,
Okay.
And but to me, she's just got that porcelain doll look on her face all the time, regardless of what she, as an actress, is trying to emote. I don't see her as being anything other than, hey, thanks for bringing your 39 billion Twitter followers to the show. I don't see her.
See, I loved her in Hotel. For me, she was the entire
yeah.
reason I watched it. I just think she's an amazing artist. I listen to heavy metal like almost exclusively, and then every once in a while I'll pop on a Lady Gaga album, which is totally weird, but I just think that she's a phenomenal artist. So for me, I watched the show and I thought, I've seen her on SNL. She's a great actress. I just think she's one of those people that can kind of like Bruno Mars and just throw out and do whatever they want because they're just talented that way. So when I watched Horror Story, I watched it for her, and I thought her character was really neat. But it sounds like this one, she's a little bit more generic.
Well, she
Not like
the
an
first
oversexed vampire chick.
well,
Or maybe.
the first few episodes, she doesn't even talk at all. So I was like, oh, they're just gonna bring her on to pay her just to stand there and look all crazy.
She wasn't in it nearly as much as she was in Hotel.
But then they actually do a flashback sequence where they show the colonists in Roanoke and what happened to them, and she's part of that whole reason why they moved and where they went, and she actually talked. So I was like, oh, okay, they're
and this season brings in Cuba Gooding Jr. too,
which I was actually shocked at his ability to. Yeah, he played the dramatic actor that
he stopped making like dogs movies for Disney. And
okay, no, he's 100% different in this.
Okay, he's got Sleds 2 coming out soon.
That's okay. Wow, I didn't know the title. Very good.
I thought he was fantastic.
He was great.
It stretched him as an actor.
He was great. My only problem with him, I swear to God, I at least 3 times yesterday, because I watched a bunch of episodes yesterday. I got, look what OJ's doing. I kept I was seeing OJ because I watched the OJ thing.
I'll tell you what, I have a lot of respect for Sarah Paulson as well.
She's good.
Between that OJ thing, her and Cuba Gooding Jr. were the only two I thought actually did a decent job in that show. And then her switching from being the actress and then to being herself as this English woman who's like, I know her more than I know myself. Just the haughty actress
You'll
type.
see in the last episode, she actually does a third role. She does a character from one of the previous seasons. Some type of she's an interviewer, like a Barbara Walters type of person. Which I don't know. I can't remember who that was in the previous season.
I thought Kathy Bates did a fantastic job.
She was great. She was great.
That Dutch English weird accent, and then she played a reenactment of what they said this woman did. Her character's name was the Butcher, and then they get her on camera to talk about it, and she went certifiably like insane. She was like, "I am the Butcher. This is me. I became it."
She's got that glimmer in her eyes.
It was.
She's gone full
chilling.
Kathy Bates.
She steals props from the show and shows up on Hollywood Boulevard and is scaring people
with running around with a butcher knife.
She's nuts.
That's awesome. As long as she doesn't have like a sledgehammer and like a plank.
Oh yeah.
Well, and then the funny.
That's the
what
real,
was probably not supposed
drama.
to be funny was she shows up in probably the 9th episode and. They're doing this second season. Well, she's not been invited to do this second season, mostly because she's nuts. And but she shows up in costume with her thing, and she's like putting herself in the show. Okay,
behind a window.
That's creepy.
So she's out there in the middle of the yard, and all of a sudden the real ghosts show up because it really, really did happen.
Right.
Show up, and she's like, she stays in character. She's like, my brethren, and she's doing the voice and everything. They had to help me get my land back and all this stuff. And then she turns around and they kill her.
Yeah, they do.
But
Spoilers. It's awesome.
She was into it so much that she didn't understand or care that the real things were actually right there with her.
It's
So,
commitment.
Yeah.
It's next level Johnny Depp stuff.
oh yeah, no
that's
question.
good stuff.
No question.
Or Daniel
I didn't. This season was great. I enjoyed it. I know a lot of people didn't,
I did
but
too.
I liked the departure from it. There's going to be a next season. They already announced it.
Oh wow, cool.
Between Brian Fuller, he's going to do that, and American Gods next year, so he'll have his plate full.
It'd be interesting to see, because this was really like a genre thing, TV genre thing. It'd be interesting to see what they do next year.
Yeah.
Actually, while you guys are talking about whatever we're talking about next, I'm going to think about. I'm positive I know what next season's about. Go ahead.
American Gods is. My wife is really into this. Let me see if I have it right. Now it's like all of the deities that people worship personified by humans in modern day civilization. Do I have that correct?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
They came over when the early settlers of America, and we're talking not like Christopher Columbus, we're talking like 10,000 years before that.
Okay.
Came over. Basically, they set up the line where ancient Egyptians used America to trade, and the Chinese, the early Chinese were here, and a bunch of other different areas. So all of these deities came over with those people.
Okay. Now when we say deities, we're talking like Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha,
Odin, Thor, all
But
that
even more
stuff.
specific than that, even like modern pop culture gods,
Odin basically has all of the older gods.
Okay.
And what is happening is, as people aren't believing in them anymore, they're fading into existence, and then they eventually just die.
Oh,
Odin's like, I don't want this to happen.
Okay, cool.
So he gathers up all the old gods like Kali and all of these, even the ones that you've never even heard of, to fight the new gods, which is media, television. There's Technical Boy, who's the internet.
Really? There's a dude that's the internet. Does he just look like a hideous troll? He's
that one does, yeah. Technical Boy is he can manipulate.
Really
he's like
now you're nerd
robotics.
bashing. Okay, knock it off.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to trigger anyone.
He can
No
mean
offense,
he can manipulate robotics, and there's
Hashtag
a
safe
scene
space.
where there's this scene where Shadow, the main character, who is enlisted by Mr. Wednesday to be his bodyguard, is kidnapped by Technical Boy, and he has this huge limo, and he can has neon going everywhere, and just different robotics. The God Media tries to talk to Shadow through the television. She manifests as Lucy Ricardo during an episode of I Love Lucy when he's watching.
Nice.
And then she turns into a newscaster later on.
Sounds awesome. Sign me up for this.
It's it's basically it's Neil Gaiman's love story to America first and foremost.
It's Gaiman. Okay. Wow, I gotta watch.
It's basically just a little road trip through America as he's meeting all these gods, and they're gearing up for the
Listen to my
Civil
wife
War.
more. She's been trying to get me to read this forever. So.
Yeah.
It is. So it's coming out early 2017. A lot of people are attached to it. Orlando Jones, Gillian Anderson, Kristen Chenoweth. Ian McShane is Mr. Wednesday, Odin.
I love Ian McShane.
I
love Ian McShane.
It's good. They have a trailer out.
He's swear
it looks
engine
good.
from.
He is.
Oh man,
He
Ian
is.
McShane.
Yes.
He's awesome.
there's
Is he
a
going to
ton
be
of
able to
people
not
attached
cuss
to
every
it.
2 seconds?
Well,
It's on Stars, so they'll show
Okay.
pretty much everything.
Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about Walking Dead real quick.
Yeah.
We haven't really talked about it on the show very much since the premiere, and because I won't say not a lot has happened, but it's been mostly characterization and storyline, not necessarily any the big things you're waiting on to happen. So here in this most recent episode, we see Negan come to Alexandria.
Yep.
And I was still kind of surprised at how against Rick that Spencer was,
Yeah.
and that he was like, well, you kind of got us here. The reason that this guy's knocking on our door is because of the decisions that you made, even though Rick's kept him alive I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't seen the most recent episode. I mean, the thing is, I love Negan. Negan's great. Jeffrey Dean Morgan's great. We were talking about that beforehand. I love what his characters bring into the show. I haven't seen the most recent episode, but I can talk about one of the characters I really like that they've introduced, Ezekiel. Ezekiel is freaking cool. I mean, he spoilers, but he's a zookeeper. He understands that people need a king figure. I mean, psychologically, historically, we need people to follow as human beings, as a species, to survive. That's just psychology 101, and he knows that, so he kind of took it upon himself to become that person. And I think it's really fascinating, the psychology that he brings to the show and what he's trying to do. With the tiger, I mean, it's really neat. So I'm interested to see how his character develops, and I love his relationship with Carol.
Yeah.
Carol is someone I really love. I love her transformation. You know, it may be getting a little long in the tooth now with Carol. Some people think that everything is long in the tooth right now with Walking Dead. But
well, I think that's personally why they needed to bring in Negan and Ezekiel to go through this whole, last couple seasons. Feel like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What have we become?
Yeah.
Why are we here?
One of my favorite parts about the show is you take zombies out of the show and add, nuclear winter or whatever, disease, whatever. This is how things would go. Things would break down, and like you said, people would gravitate towards a safe situation.
Yeah.
If Josh is making good decisions and he's getting me fed and keeping me safe, I'm going to follow Josh.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're not going to follow Josh, but
would have had a tiger. My last name is King.
but that is one of the things about the show that is great. Now, unfortunately, we are going to get into, as we get into more and more seasons, where these surviving great characters that we like Carol, are running out of things to do in the show.
Yeah.
There's only so many things you can do with a guy. And I'm not saying this is why Glenn died, but we saw Glenn go through an entire gamut of personality and change and growth to where he was. I would say it's sad to see him go, but I don't know what else you can do with Glenn, because as far as Rick's right-hand man, you still have Daryl.
Yeah.
Daryl's going to be around for a long time, and I'll tell you,
He's a fan favorite. You can.
And mostly, he's one of my favorites because I don't even read the comics, but I know everybody does, or a lot of people do. But he's not in the comics, so we don't know what's going to happen with him. When he got thrown in the back of that truck, we're like, oh crap, what's going to happen with him? Because we didn't know.
Yeah, you put the heart of the show in peril, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of people. Do you think there'll be riots? Do you think there'll be riots if they kill him? I've got one of those shirts. If Daryl dies, we riot.
People riot about anything, okay? People riot.
There may be riots.
That is true.
Yeah, that's
well,
true.
I don't know. I heard a rumor over the summer that he was wanting to do Boondock Saints 3.
Yes.
I don't know if that
That's a
has
done
been
deal.
signed on. Okay.
Yeah.
So
That'd be cool.
I figured, I was like, well, then he's dead. Because I don't know. I mean, I suppose they could try to work around his shooting schedule for that. So.
I mean, you want to say them taking on a lot of other projects means that they're going to die, but that's not always the case.
They don't shoot a TV show year round, especially
I know that, but I was just,
show.
Yeah.
if he wants to go out and branch out and do other movies. And
So I was thinking about Jon Snow. Everyone thought he was taking on all those other projects.
True.
He's like, I'm dead. I definitely died. Hey,
Which was
still alive.
Which was true. He was dead.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. And kind of not lying.
One thought I just had, I want to just jump back to American Horror Story real quick. There was one part that just made me laugh, in that this girl is kind of getting out of the area. She not being. I'm not in. People are dying over there. I'm not going to be involved. I'm getting my car. I'm going to take off, which is one of the
Are you
smart
talking
things.
about the producer chick?
No. Yes. And she's driving down this country road, and all of a sudden she sees this. Probably 40 feet away, she sees maybe an apparition of some kind. It's just
figure.
a woman standing there in a raggedy, dress. It's probably from that era or whatever.
Turns the camera
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
Turns it back.
And she's like, because she's like, I have no intention of finding out who that is. And she turns the car and goes around. I'm like, that's what everybody needs to do. That's a smart thing that people should do.
Yeah.
And I've always said, if stuff like that happens, if zombie apocalypse goes down, I'm not gonna go to the cops or other firemen or whatever. I'm gonna find Sean Hilton. I'm gonna find Christina. I'm gonna find the Greys and maybe Derek Irick, because we know how to do stuff, okay? And they're not gonna get me killed by being stupid, okay? Because we've been through stuff.
Well, and that's to harken back to American Horror Story for a second. If you are cooking food in your kitchen and it starts to rain, and you think, oh, geez, what's that sound? And you step outside on your porch, and it's raining human teeth. And you're looking up at the sky, and human teeth are falling down upon you.
Honey, grab the bug out bag. Uber.
Exactly. Like,
The frogs are next. Let's go.
the bank can have
I
the
hate
house.
frogs.
The bank can have the house. I'm done.
Oh, maybe it'll get better.
I was like, you are dumb, and you deserve to die, because
That show.
it's raining human teeth.
Walking Dead made me take a hard look at my skill sets. I think a lot of people,
Right?
Like, I'm a tech guy. People know Josh can, program
Right.
data centers, protect
Right.
you from hackers, whatever.
Oh, no electricity.
So what do I do? Exactly. It's like, wow, your value dropped to 0. So for me, it's like, I need something else.
I would. You could probably still stay in that genre if you got into hooking up like solar panels and stuff like that. Bring energy to people.
Yeah.
Then you'd be.
So I've started
valuable.
creating electronics. I've done a lot with actual offline skills. So I do bow, archery stuff now, traditional archery. I know how to do like sharpen weapons, and this is really because of the inner conversations I've had with myself because of The Walking Dead.
I get it.
People are like, "Why are you doing this? You're a nerd. You don't need this stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, but you don't even understand.
You never know.
Like what happens when the zombies come.
Right.
You gotta be prepped.
Yeah.
Walking Dead opening up a whole new set
it's just
of
amazing.
conversations
It's
with
just
people.
It's really true.
Let's see. How about Westworld?
Yes.
Now, I know that Lauren was going to catch up on Westworld since I was catching up on American Horror Story. Now, I did catch
failed.
up on American Story. Did you catch up on Westworld?
I failed.
Boy, I'm
But
glad I called two people to go on this.
I am looking forward to experiencing it. I know you guys talk all about it. I don't mind spoilers.
We're seven in, and I think it's 10 episodes. It did just get renewed for
season 2,
second season.
Excellent.
Although the showrunners have said they've got I think 4 or 5 in mind as they plan ahead story wise.
Yeah, and people have really been worried about the longevity of this show, but there is a lot of story to tell.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
There's a whole revolution that needs to happen, and there's a lot more to come.
Well, I touched briefly on it with Sean last week, but he doesn't watch, so I didn't really get into it too much. But there's the theory, and I think it's more than a theory at this point, but of there being a couple different timelines going on. That William, the kind of milquetoasty guy, is really a much younger version of the Man in Black, Ed Harris. And I kind of meta-cheated a little bit and looked up the IMDb, and they just do call him the Man in Black, so they don't give you what his name is.
Yeah.
So Casey and I are kind of going back and forth about what this relationship is with the Man in Black and Dolores now, because when we introduced to him in the first season, he basically takes her in the barn and rapes her, but he's very loving to her as William in the past. So, are we seeing? One thing that William said in this last episode, this last Sunday, was, "I'm finding out that this place really just lets people get down to the depths of who they really are."
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what has probably happened to him from during that entire transition. The other big bomb that's dropped, and I'm going to spoil it because you didn't do your homework.
No.
We find out this week that Bernard, the programmer, is actually a model.
No.
Yes.
I called it though.
Did you? Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. Casey and I did like a couple weeks ago that might be the case, because we saw him interviewing Dolores and some other models in that asking them questions about reality and have you questioned your reality, everything like that, and wondering if maybe he's going through that and he's trying to find out if others are doing it too, because he's having them erase the conversations and things like that.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of good stuff that happened this week, and
I'm asking myself a lot of the same questions with this show that I did with Battlestar Galactica. Like who's a Cylon, or who's a robot? Really love the show. I think I'm just really fascinated with artificial intelligence. They talk early on about the Turing test. So Alan Turing, right. The idea behind the Turing test is you give 3 people, 2 of them you put in a room, another person slides a question under a door to the other 2 people. Answer this question. If the person who slid the question under the door is unable to discern who was a robot and who was a human, that robot has passed the Turing test. That has not happened today. That test was designed in the 1950s. It's still sort of the gold standard of artificial intelligence, and first projection of that happening is 2029, which is awesome and scary at the same time. So this future, did they talk about timelines? Do we know what date they're in? I haven't really looked that up.
No, we don't even know that they're on Earth. As far as the show,
we don't even know that.
As far as the show Westworld goes, we don't know where or when they are.
Right.
And you spoke about the Turing test. That was one of the telling. I would say about 2/3 of the way through this last week's episode, before they actually tell you Bernard's a model.
Yeah.
They do what would be the meta Turing test, in that they show him a picture. This isn't what happened in the show, but they show him a picture of a Ferris wheel or something modern.
Yeah.
And he, like all the other models do, look at something and they go, "I just don't know what that is." That's what they've been programmed to do when they are talking. Say a human talks to a model about something, and the human says, "Boy, you look realistic." And she's like, a model would be, "I just don't know what you're saying."
Yeah.
That's their programmed reaction to things that are outside their storyline.
I love it. So it's like a safety check.
Yeah.
Cool.
You'll see that a lot. You saw it when Dolores' father showed her the picture that he found. Okay?
Yes.
She's like, "That just doesn't look like anything to me," Whereas he focused on it and he was obsessed with it and eventually drove him out.
Yeah. Need to catch up in the last episode. It sounds like a lot happened.
Yeah. So anyway, they do that with him, with Bernard, and somebody that's with him is like, "What do you think's on the other side of this door?" And he goes, "I don't see a door." because he's been programmed not to see that door.
Right.
That's how you figure it out. But
That's interesting.
yeah,
So cool. Yeah, I like that you can go in, you can be a good guy, you can be a bad guy. There's different scenarios. Anybody who's played an MMORPG or RPG in general, you think, oh, these are quest givers. I'm going to look for the exclamation mark and go.
It's funny. That is exactly what it is. Like the guy for one of the first few episodes, they're walking through town and there's a sheriff there with a posse, and he's got a warrant poster. He's like, "You fella, you look like somebody who might be interested in doing this." That's exactly what these games are like.
Right, and you're like, no, that guy sucks. So let's go to the better quest.
Right.
That guy just gives greens.
It's like D&D. Go find the bulletin board.
Exactly.
And again, Casey and I were talking about the Man in Black, and he has mentioned he's been coming there for 30 years. It's my theory that he has been there for been coming there for 30 years and has gone through all the storylines, has done all the quests, has done all the side things, in maybe multiple good and bad aspects, done all these things. And that's why he's so intent on, hey, he heard about this maze. He heard about this extra thing that nobody knows about, and that's why he's actually trying to do it. It's one more game that he's never even seen on meta part of the game. That's my theory about what he's after.
Yeah.
Casey seems to think that maybe it's more of a, he's in love with Dolores still and wants to set her free and get her, let her expand into like humanity, but you just don't know.
So there's a book called Ready Player One. A lot of people have read that book.
Love it.
Can't wait for the movie.
Book.
Right.
And there's the designer of the game Oasis that they're in hides Easter eggs, and they look for the Easter eggs, and no one's found them. If you can find all three or something like that, it's been a while since I read it. You become the owner or something. It's kind of like Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like the little maze thing is sort of like that. Like he who finds it maybe wins something or some kind of competition. I don't know. I just feel like it's a similar idea, but we don't really know too much about it. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, it's a really good show, and I wasn't sure. As confusing as it was, I was ready to give up on it in a few episodes.
And how great is that intro? Weaving the muscle fibers like a 3D printer. That's one of the best intros I've ever seen.
Kind of a Da Vinci.
So beautiful.
Thing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay, well, let's see. We've got about 5 minutes left. Did you guys see either of the new trailers, Wonder Woman and Kong? You probably saw those.
Wonder Woman, yep.
Not a lot of new stuff in the Wonder Woman, but just more. It looks
it's
great.
Like expanded upon,
it looks
essentially.
great.
I think Gal Gadot looks great as Wonder Woman.
She does, absolutely. I can't see anybody.
No, she's great.
She is good. And she was the best part for me, the best part of BVS. As soon as that music hit, man, I was like, oh. that was awesome. Because you knew what that meant. And,
I just wish someone said, every time I go to a Marvel movie, I think, is this going to be the one that sucks? Every time I go to a DC movie, I think, is this going to be the one that's good? And I really hope that they...
That's accurate.
I really, and it's been true the whole time. I really hope that they don't mess this up. Really cool era, really cool subject matter. Man, I hope it's good.
I feel like even the diehard DC people are having to go to these movies, go to the DC movies, and pick things out that they can cling to. Yeah. They're like, but this was awesome. This part was awesome. Affleck was awesome as Bruce Wayne, which he was to me. So that's what I'll cling on to as far as the movie being good itself.
Sure.
Whereas Marvel, man, even Doctor Strange, which is not my favorite Marvel movie by a long shot, was still a great movie. Yeah. It wasn't a home run for me, but it was still better than so much more that's out there.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, the Cloak was the breakout star. Who saw that coming? I mean, that was amazing. Yeah. I loved, some of the changes they made from the comic book universe to the cinematic universe. I thought were good. It's great film.
And speaking of Marvel, we just talked about this briefly before we got started. There was a thing that came out the last couple of days about Fox having Deadpool, Marvel having their characters. Apparently, James Gunn wrote Guardians 2, wrote the entire thing, wrote Ego into it, thinking that they owned the rights to Ego, the Living Planet. And as we know, it's already out there that he is Star-Lord's father. Yeah. So it wasn't something he could just pick that character out and plop somebody back in because he was a planet.
He said he had no backup plan.
Right, exactly. Well, then it turns out, just by a sheer stroke of luck, that Fox was given a box full of characters that they can pick from to stick into Deadpool. And they chose Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. And they said they picked Negasonic just because of the name. They thought it was cool. But they wanted to change her powers. They had to get permission from Marvel, even though they own the rights for that character. They had to get permission from Marvel to change the powers for the movie. They did. When they went to him, they said, well, yeah, but we'll do that if we can borrow Ego the Living Planet, which is more tied to Fantastic Four, I assume.
Yeah.
So that was just a happy accident that really didn't delay.
Could have
Guardians
delayed
2.
things.
Yeah,
and
Which they've done
a bunch
such a
of
great job of Fantastic Four. My goodness. Talk about killing your childhood.
right. Let's see. Oh, and then the Kong trailer just dropped yesterday or today. I can't remember, but
Introduced John C. Reilly.
I had no desire to see this movie at all. The Jack Black Kong movie was okay, just okay to me. It was beautiful, but
It's better than I expected.
I wasn't really looking forward to this. There are people, I love Sam Jackson, but man, when you throw him in a movie, I have in my mind, this guy will do anything, so it doesn't mean it's a quality thing.
Say bananas again.
Right, like him and Tommy Lee Jones together are both like, somebody just threw up a box of scripts and he's like, that's what I'm doing this year, But it looked really good to me. I liked the comedy element of John C. Reilly, and I thought he was very funny. And
I love him.
The aspect that it's a modern telling of Kong and Kong Island.
but it still has those pulp elements to it.
Yeah,
like,
it does. Well, because they're being plunged into a setting that's probably from the 30s or what, that we think of it anyway. But these are all modern people, I think. Or they're not Vietnam era, are they? Does it look
I don't know. John C. Reilly's wearing that bomber jacket, which made me think.
But he's got a big beard too.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I'm assuming
Could just be him being him. Yeah.
lost in that island for a while.
Yeah. I can't think, that's about it. I've seen a couple movies that are good. Go see Arrival if you haven't seen Arrival. It's really good. It's
I plan on it. After
intelligent.
Fantastic Beasts.
Okay.
I'll go see
I
Arrival.
was probably going to go see that tonight. So
Arrival?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
Yeah.
I won't tell you what happens, but
Cool, thanks.
It's very good. That's about it. Pick up what was just released. Last thing we'll say is Catalyst, which is a prequel novel to Rogue One. I just got into that. I do a lot of audiobooks rather than actually physically reading. Sean has a problem with that, but he doesn't have to do it, so it's for me. And so far it's really good. It's basically
And it is the direct prequel to Rogue One?
It is the origin of Galen Erso.
Okay, not Jyn.
And basically starts right when it starts, Jin's mother is pregnant with Jyn.
Okay.
So we see her birth pretty early in this. But you get to see the relationship and how they met with the Galen Erso and that's Krennic, the Imperial officer in white, and why they want him. I'm assuming this is what the things that happen in this book are why they want him to help with the Death Star plans and all that kind of stuff.
Let me ask you
So
this
we're
question.
like deep in the Republic. Like
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Star Wars guy, but is there like a Japanese samurai Jedi guy?
Not yet.
Did I see that right? No.
In that
In the
he is
trailer.
I don't know that he's necessarily a Jedi. I think he probably adheres to some of the beliefs,
moral code.
Okay.
but I don't think he's a Jedi.
Okay.
in
I
this
mean, the
movie.
trailers I saw, it made him look kind of like he had force powers, but I don't know.
And he might.
Okay.
We still know so little about it.
Yeah.
He's definitely that heart and soul type of character in that where he's like, maybe the Yoda
Super
type.
intrigued by that, and obviously Darth Vader.
Yeah, and he's blind. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Very cool.
But all right, that's about it. This has been episode 148 of GeekStorm, and stay tuned for an auction in Iowa that you can't bid on things. Oh, you did? Yes. Okay, just give me what might be coming up next. Then just say I want to throw it. I want to throw it into something. Just anything. It doesn't matter. What's on K-Gov? What?
Pet of the week.
Pet of the week. Stay tuned for Pet of the week.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Pet of the week. There's a lot of pets out there.
There are.
There's only one pet of the week.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's a dachshund.
Go adoptions.
So no, it's a dachshund.
It's probably like a cat, right?
No, cats can never be pet of the week. As long as I'm alive, cats will never be pet of the week. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
Thanks.